All right, here's the feedback we got from the 10 texts. The 10 texts being, who scares you the most in the NFC after 4 weeks? Look, everybody's scary. The Lions can, there's a bunch of teams that can trip you up, but going into the season was probably close to unanimous. San Francisco, I'm sure there was some Green Bay out there, but now who scares you the most? Mike at work says it's Minnesota. Joe in East Point says Tampa. These are the 10 texts, first 10 texts that came in and signed their text. Kevin at lunch says, guys, I really believe it's the Vikings. They are stacked. Jeff says, Minnesota, we need home field. Scott in Rochester says, it's the Vikings. Nort in Pinckney says, biggest roadblock is still San Francisco. Brett in a truck, call me crazy, but I am most worried by the Vikings. Marlon Walled Lake says, I still say it's Green Bay because Love got hurt and he's still getting back to form. Jason at work, the Vikings worry me the most. Darnold seems to be the real deal this year. And Jeff in a truck says, I am still most worried by the 49ers. So a lot of people in Detroit here buying into Minnesota. The interesting thing about Minnesota and Tampa is teams like the copycat. They have both taken journeyman quarterbacks who struggled on bad teams, put them in situations with weapons, and those guys are having success. There was this formula that teams like using. We're going to draft our quarterback, throw him out there, but we're going to put weapons around him. While we don't have to pay him, ride the rookie contract and hope that the veteran weapons that we put out there works. This is same philosophy, except it's being done with journeyman veterans who have perhaps been in bad situations. I don't know that Darnold or Mayfield were ever in a great situation.
Nope.
And you put them out there with Mike Evans or Justin Jefferson and the weapons that they have, and suddenly is this going to become the new thing? Because both Tampa and the Vikings got votes in this.
I don't know if it becomes the new thing. I think you look at, quarterback, clearly guys have talent, but if you're not giving them a chance anywhere, it's hard to write guys off. Like, would you write off, I know people have already written off Zach Wilson, and I might eventually have to break up with him as well and let it go. Mm-hmm. But did he have anything to work with with the Jets?
Didn't feel like it.
It goes to the Broncos, and they're committed to Bo Nix there, and yet there's not a ton to work with there.
Build your case, Gator.
Well, I'm wondering, does he get a chance to go somewhere else when somebody else has talent? Would they take a flyer on him? But Sam Darnold in Minnesota, Sam Darnold wasn't supposed to be the quarterback.
No.
I mean, they drafted J.J. McCarthy, and then all the time, they get mixed reviews of what was happening in training camp. Some people say McCarthy was doing great. Others said not so much. But he gets hurt, can't play. Oops, we got to go to Darnold. And Darnold's like, yep, well, I get to throw to Jefferson. I get to throw to Addison. I get the running game here. Okay, this works out. I got this. Jalen Naylor's on this team, and Hawkinson will come back. It's so much talent, but I feel like you have to overflow it with the talent for the guy to have that success. Baker Mayfield, you could see, there's a competitive spirit with Baker Mayfield that you have to respect, but he had nobody to work with. And then he goes to Tampa, and it's like, okay, they built that team so that Tom Brady could win a Super Bowl with it, and did. And didn't win another one, but got the one, and those players are still there. At some point, they're going to have to replace Mike Evans and his write it in stone 1,000-yard receiving each year. But they've got Godwin. They've got so many other good players there. I don't know if it's – I think it's just a smart way is to have a team that's got weapons, and almost any quarterback you feel like can step in and be good. If Gardner Minshew had people to work with outside of Devontae Adams, if they had anything else there, maybe the Raiders got something going.
It's pretty remarkable because Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold are tied for number one in the NFL with 11 touchdown passes. Two journeymen who finally landed in a place with weapons, and look what they're doing.
There are also two really high draft picks. Baker was 1-1, and Sam Darnold was, 4th overall?
Kang, he's about to circle back to Zach Wilson.
I'm not. I'm just
because he was a high draft pick.
The Zach Wilson thing's interesting because it's a COVID year, and had it not been a COVID year, would he have been taken that high? Because he was one of those guys that you actually got to see every week because BYU played that full schedule.
What's funny is you think about Jared Goff. When Jared Goff came to Detroit, he was considered sort of a journeyman quarterback who, people were like, he's never going to be elite, and it was a throw-in. And when he got here, he didn't have weapons. And in fact, until like now the weapons are well respected, but Amon-Ra wasn't considered an elite wide receiver.
Well, no, he was a rookie. He was a rookie, and it was also different too because Goff had success when he came into the league. He got success quickly and was very good, and then fell out of favor with the coach.
Yeah, it's a different situation, but it's amazing what Goff was doing without what was considered elite weapons, and now I feel like he has elite weapons.
Well,